Taking Malashov won't be easy. How do you plan to do it?
You'll find out in good time, don't worry. First, I had to talk it through with Dry Devil, though. With a bit of luck, we'll get inside the castle unobserved at night, and then we'll manage somehow.
What about that cannon you...
We'll keep that in reserve in case anything fucks up. And believe me, something always fucks up.
The camp might be pretty dangerous.
Catherine's the one who knows about spying and that kind of thing. But it won't do us any harm if you make yourself useful there. I don't expect you'll just blurt out to them where they can find us, but loitering around the camp, peek...
That money? Are you really going to give it to us just like that? Such a fortune.
What do you mean, give it to you? We earn this together, are we not?
No, you know what I meant. I'm grateful to you, but your people lost everything. I'm sure you could do with every groschen you can get your hands on.
Henry, money is power, but not when it's locked up in a chest somewhere. You have to know when to spend it, and what on. And believe me, getting revenge on Von Berkow is worth every last groschen.
What would you like?
I'll have a...
I'm glad you found what you were looking for, sir.
Is that you? I thought I recognized...
You look familiar.
It's me, Odolin von Wotitz. You gave me a few groschen to help me on my way.
Ah, now I remember. You were being held hostage by the League of Lords.
That's correct.
How did you make it home?
I checked out a couple of wayside inns and got lucky. With the little money I had, I finally found a caravan. The carter didn't mind hosting a lowlife on his wagon, as long as he was getting paid for his trouble. He dropped me off a short distance from Wotitz, and I walked the rest of the way.
What brings you back to Kuttenberg? And with a retinue at that?
My father and I won't let them get away with what they did to me. Let's say we're on our way to scope out the land of some acquaintances of ours.
Well, you're gonna settle us...
And who knows? We might just run into someone important and take him on a visit to our place. We've already fixed up a nice room with a solid lock. Would you like to see it?
No.
I was just teasing. It's all set up for someone else.
I have to get going. I'm glad you're all right.
Wait a moment. You helped me, and I won't forget that. Here, take your money back, so we're even. And I have something else for you here. I think it might come in handy. A fine weapon. Dependable. It's felled a few deer in its time, and it would put a decent hole in a man too. If you ever needed to defend yourself.
My word.
I bid you...
Same to you.
break here?
I'm telling you, ain't I? Your men smashed all my pictures. And on top of that, they drank nearly a whole barrel of wine. And poor Dorota had to flee to the woods from your savages. She's lucky she got away with her honor intact.
Here you go. Take
Pay
it.
everything, and punish very hard. Who was they?
How am I supposed to know their names?
I know you.
Me? No, you're mistaking me for someone else.
Now, Zudnakam, where we know us from?
From the camp, most likely. But why should anyone remember me, right?
True.
How can I help you?
My
And what?
Do you have...
Don't worry.
I can't.
All
I'll glad...
right.
I hope you enjoyed that. I like it when a man is satisfied. And come back again anytime. I'd be happy to see you.
Have a lovely summer evening.
Good evening, Catherine.
Have fun, whatever you're planning.
Ah, there you are.
Henry? What are you doing here?
Zizka sent me. Is there somewhere we can talk? In private, I mean.
Oh, by Christ. Oh, you've come up with another plan, haven't you? All right. But you better come this evening. We're too easily seen right now.
I'm here.
Come. I know a place.
Where's that?
Stop asking.
You want to talk here?
You said you wanted privacy, didn't you? If anyone sees us here, they'll think you're just another customer. And relax a bit. You're as stiff as if you were waiting to be branded.
All right. But you could have warned me.
Come now, Henry. Don't say you've never had your back scrubbed by a woman.
I have, yeah, but... It's just different with you. It feels a bit weird. After all we've been through together.
Oh, come now. You don't have to be bashful in front of me. Even about what I think I see in that tub.
Well, the water is pretty cold.
Of course it is. So, tell me quickly what you're doing here before you shrivel up entirely in the water. You say Zizka sent you.
That's right. It's about von Bergov's cannon and the Praggers who have it. I hear they're going to move it to Sedlet.
Aye, they have it. What of it?
We want to steal it on the way.
Have you all gone mad? Do you know how dangerous that is?
I know. That's why Zizka sent me here. I'm supposed to infiltrate the Praggers and make sure everything goes smoothly.
So what do you need me for?
Information. When are the Praggers going to take the cannon to Sedlets?
That's what you're supposed to find out, isn't it? But it looks like they got held up for some reason. Sometimes I hear them complaining they should have been long gone by now.
Where's the cannon now?
In the upper part of the camp where all the local captains have their tents. They've put up a palisade around the entire hilltop. And the guard at the gate doesn't let just anyone in. And what's more, they say the whole camp's gunpowder store is there.
And you think it's in the storehouse there?
That's the only place it can be. I haven't seen it anywhere down here, but they won't let me into the upper part.
Do you know anything about the cannon?
Not much. I've heard they call it the Finger of God, and it costs a fortune, but that's all.
Who's in charge?
Now, that's a pretty complicated question. But in a nutshell, there are 3 main captains here. They run the whole camp. Sigismund is holed up in Sedlets with his toadies and doesn't take much of an interest in what's going on here. The Cumans are under the command of a fellow called Chertan. Then there is Grozaf, who runs the camp. And then there are the Pragas, led by Dietrich Katz.
What is this chap?
He's the commander of all the Cumans who marched into Bohemia. Sigismund officially gives the orders, of course, but it's Chertan they listen to. I've met him a couple of times. He's a tough fella, but his soldiers are loyal to him.
Who's this
He's in charge of everything here. He's a nobleman, but don't expect him to act like one. They say he ran up debts and fell out with half the royal court. So Sigismund holed him away here instead of taking him to Sedlets. Watch out for him. You know how it is. The worse off a man is, the pushier he gets.
This Katz?
He's in charge of the Prague Artillery Regiment. You should know him, in fact. It was him and his men who attacked Nabokov that time.
That Horace who nearly killed us all?
Calm down. You'll get your revenge soon enough.
Do you have any idea how I could infiltrate the...
The best thing would be to join up. There are never enough men. But it won't be as easy as it might seem. They won't let you go up and see cats just like that. But down by the shooting range, you'll find a fella they call Crow. He's a corporal in the Pragas. You'll know him by his big black moustache. He's Katz's right-hand man. So I'd try my luck with him.
But what if he turns me...
Then I suppose you'll have to keep bothering him until he changes his mind. What else?
And once I've joined them, what next?
Find out when they're supposed to go to Sedlets. And above all, why they're still here. And once you've got it sorted out with them and you're gonna all ride out with the cannon, I'll go straight to the Devil's Den and we'll get to work.
Well, it all sounds pretty dangerous. If I say the wrong thing or someone recognizes me, the game will be up. I could do with a kiss for luck.
If you don't mess up, you'll have 1,000 kisses. But work before play. Is there anything else you want to ask before we get started?
What's it like here? Should I be afraid?
Not really. But I wouldn't call it peaceful here. You know what it's like. Humans here, Praga's there. Couple of noblemen and a bunch of mercenaries who want to fill their purses. All hot-blooded and all hating each other. Apart from that, it's lovely.
Do you know anything else about the Pragas that might come in handy?
Not really. They're artillerymen, as I said. And their pay is a lot better than the others. So they aren't too popular around here. That's all I know. They drink, play dice, and go to the baths just like all the others.
Is there anything I should watch out for?
Your mouth, mostly. You know what you're like. If you give the game away, you're a dead man. Just try and act normal. They get up to a lot of drinking, riding, and archery here. Now and then they fight like cats and dogs, but the captains have things under control for the moment. Although
what?
There's a rumor going round the soldiers that there's a spy here. At first, I was worried they were talking about me. But it seems not. Be careful.
That's all I need to know.
Get out of the water, then. You've been in there for ages. Though I have to admit you've scrubbed up nicely. Maybe I should wash you more often.
As long as it's always free of charge.
Actually, there is something you could do to repay me. But that can wait. Enlist for service first, soldier.
You said you needed my help with something?
I do. It's just... Well, it's not easy to talk about, you know? Someone's been following me. I haven't actually seen anyone, but I can't help feeling someone staring at me all the time. And once, I even heard something.
What did you hear?
The other night, I was woken up by a man's voice. Like he was standing close by and whispering.
Do you think someone's found out who you are?
Judging by the mumbling, I reckon this is about something else entirely. But you never know what a creep like him might notice. I'd feel a lot better if you could get rid of him somehow.
Has anything else strange?
No. Except maybe I lost a shoe.
A shoe? Just one?
That's just what's so strange about it. If both went missing, I just think someone stole them. But one? What good is one of my shoes to anyone?
I could think of a few things.
Yuck.
Did you understand what the bloke was saying?
Not a word. It didn't sound like Czech.
What did it sound like? Polish? German?
Hungarian. You can't mistake their gibberish for anything else. I reckon it was some Cuman.
When did all this happen?
About 2 days ago. It was quite late at night. I haven't slept a wink since.
Let's hope it's nothing serious. But we should find the bloke and have a word with him.
What do you plan to do?
Well, if he really did steal your shoe, Mutt could track him down.
That's not a bad idea. But you'd have to give him something to get the scent.
Well, you've got the other shoe, don't you? You can't walk around with one shoe on anyway. And Mutt's dependable.
It's not Matt I'm worried about. Just sort things out with a creep, that's all I care about.
I could lure him out of the camp and slit his throat, couldn't I?
I could manage that myself. But it would only cause trouble. Is that really the best you could give him? A fright, beat him up? Just don't kill him.
All right.
Thank you.
Search.
God bless you, Henry. You have a kind master, eh, Mutt?
What is it, boy? Is this where the shoe thief lives?
God bless you, Henry.
Come here, boy.
Careful!
What was our...
It's Steve. Well, so... See?
Bocs csinálja, hogy mindig ilyen szép a haja.
So it's you. You're the human that keeps bothering the black-haired bath wench. You'll leave her alone. Got it?
Mi van? Nem.
What are you on about? You don't understand a word I say, do you? Bathhouse. Das bad. Washing. Bathhouse wench. Woman. No watching. 9. Got that? Again?
Igen? Aha. A fürdős lány. Miért ne? Minek ütött bele az orrod? Igen. Szeretem.
You and the bathhouse girl? No. You go away. Leave her alone. Otherwise, bang, bang. No more balls. Bruises. You understand that, don't you? Fight.
Bassza meg, ember, nyugodj meg! Bad girl alone, értem! Jól van.
You look like you understand. See how easily we came to an agreement? I found the cumin who was stalking you. He's called Chakan. I reckon you won't have any more trouble from him.
Oh, thank God. How did you convince him to stop?
I just told him a woman like you wouldn't waste her time with someone like him.
And he understood? Have you learnt cumin? Or did you explain it with your fists? And what about my shoes?
Here they are. Both of them.
Thank God for that. I was afraid I'd have to steal someone else's. And Henry?
What?
Thank you. You're a good man. I owe you one.
God be with you.
That's what you said last time, and the time before that. And now I ain't no material to forge anything for you.
How dare you speak to me like that, you louse?
Greetings, sir. Who are you?
You do not know who I am? Have you just crawled out from under a dung heap? I'm Grossav of Borumraka. What do you want from me?
Nothing.
You and half the camp. I don't have time for you, peasant. I'm in charge of the whole place here. Got that?
Sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
Then do not. Fucking watch. I'm fucking tired, and on top of that, fucking hungry. Careful.
Nincs esélyed, te nyomorult! Essünk túl rajta. A sírodra fogok bugyozni.
You're not allowed here. That's it. And next time, don't go creep. Well, what's it gonna be? Piss off.
Greetings to you, friend.
Have you seen Chaka recently? I'm not his keeper. Why? What about him? I don't know. He's gone all strange. He used to walk around like he was daydreaming with a silly smile on his face. But now, all the life's gone out of him. Ate something dodgy, did he? What's it got to do with food, you fool? There's something wrong with him, I'm telling you. Like a body without a soul.
You're back!
Just what I said. Whenever I feel sick, it's like I've had a bang on the head. You're always like that. You don't have to eat anything. See you later.
Good morning to you.
Are you the one?
I'm only crow to good friends, or strangers who want to punch in the gob. Which group do you...
Well, neither, I reckon. But I hope that'll change. I want to join your regiment.
You and a dozen other ne'er-do-wells. I've had fellas pestering me ever since Radovan let slip that we get double the pay. Go and ask Lord Borumlaka, I mean. You'll fit in better with his rabble.
Oh, that'd be a waste of my talents.
Oh, really?
I'm the best warrior far and wide. Give me any weapon, and I'll show you what I can do with it.
That's all very well, but it don't knock me on my arse. It's what's expected from a soldier, isn't it? Is there anything else you can...
I could spy for you. I know how to get into all kinds of places without being seen.
That sounds pretty useful, true enough. But we don't do espionage. There's other people in the camp for that.
I know about herbs. If you have a sore throat, or need some extra energy, or you've got food poisoning, I'm your man.
That kind of thing always comes in handy. But we have a physician, and one that half the world would envy us. We don't need another.
Oh, damn it, is that still not enough for you? What more do you want?
For you to stop hassling me. You're a bit pushy for my liking. It's a bit suspicious.
I want to serve the king, is all. Sigismund should take things in hand here and impose order, since Wenceslas isn't capable of it.
Interesting. Most people in these parts have other ideas.
Only I'm not most people. Please. Just give me a chance.
All right. We lost a couple of men recently in any case. You know what? I'll go and see Katz, our commander. He'll know what to do with you.
Who the fuck are you?
My name's Henry, sir, and I want to enlist.
So you turn up and expect us to drop to our knees in awe? Crow, why did you let this fucker in?
I thought you might want to take a look at him. It's hard to believe when he never shuts up, but he said he's good at creeping about unnoticed. Someone like that could come in useful.
Well, if that's true, but we'll have to try you out first in any case. I have this issue here.
Ah, you're not going on about that stupid charter again, are you? How many more men will you send to find it?
As many as it takes. Don't tell me you're not fed up with being stuck here. So, this is your test, Henry. Either you come back as one of us, or you don't come back at all. What do you say?
Well, that depends. The harder the work, the higher the price.
Christ, he'll fit right in. He hasn't lifted a finger yet, and he already wants his pay.
If he helps us get out of here, he can have mine as well.
Listen up, then. Some of our men have gone missing. 7 of them. And with them a wagon with horses, to be precise. They had a very important cargo they were supposed to take to Sedlitz, but they never arrived there.
It seems they were last seen somewhere between Miskovitz and Rabstein. But that was ages ago. Christ knows where they might be now.
Hang on, why would they go past Miskovitz? That's not on the way to Sedlitz.
That's what I don't understand. But you can ask them if you find them.
Isn't it possible they simply got lost on the way?
That don't seem likely. We've only been in these parts a short while, true, but it's not complicated to get to Sedlitz.
But the way doesn't go through Miskovitz. So what would they be doing there?
Something bad must have happened to them. But fuck knows what.
I don't give a shit what happened to them. They could have been eaten by squirrels for all I care. I just want that painted chest they were carrying. There's a very important charter in it, and we need it back. Got that?
And what should I do when I find these fellas?
What do you think? Free them if someone's holding them. Bury them if they're dead. Kill them if they've deserted.
What, take down 7 men by myself?
Do you want to be a fucking soldier or not? All right then. If things get tough, come and see me and we'll sort it out somehow.
All right, I think I understand.
Wait, damn it! You don't know the most important bit yet. Mishek, one of those 7, came back.
And you're only telling me this now? So question him, and we'll know what's going on, won't we?
Go ahead and try it yourself, genius.
Mishek was brought back on a cart. Some peasant found the poor bloke unconscious on the road and brought him here. He's been in the infirmary since then. But you can stop by, maybe the Sawbones will be able to tell you something. His name is Musa.
And let me tell you, you ain't never seen a man like Musa before.
That's about it then. Now on your way. Try not to get yourself killed.
Commander Katz sent me. I'm supposed to find the soldiers who went missing. It seems one of them is in your infirmary.
Yes, Mishek. He's lying over there and will remain lying for long. He was badly stabbed, and it will take weeks before he comes to his senses.
But I need to talk to him.
Then you shall have to wait. When he was brought here, he was mumbling about some wagon on a place called Lota. But then he passed out and did not awake again.
Isn't there anything we can do? I don't need him to be healed, just to wake up for a while. What if we brew something with mint? That wakes me up like nothing else.
That is not such a bad idea, Henry. One can make a decoction from valerian and mint, which is called cockerel potion. It will not heal the poor wretch, but it might wake him up for a bit. But it must be very strong. Not like what is sold by the quacks around here.
Hold on. I have something like that here.
And is it a strong enough decoction?
We'll soon find out.
Very well, friend. I will try to trust you.
All right. We'll see if I brewed it properly. What's happening? Where am I? Ow! That hurts! Mishek? Christ! Can you hear me? Calm down and talk to me. Mishek, wake up! Oh, don't like this. Wake up, you hear? Mishek! Oh, fuck!
What potion did you give him, you fool?
A knight held captive here died recently. Peter of Sukatleski. Do you know anything about that?
Ah, yes. He was in poor shape when they brought him in. But if they had let me treat him, I might have been able to save him.
What was wrong with him?
I only saw him very briefly, but it was obvious he was in bad shape. He was pale. His eyes were bloodshot. He was acting like he had been hit very hard on the head.
So it really was illness that killed him then?
Well, partly. But mostly it was negligence and disrespect for human life.
Did they forbid you from treating the prisoner?
No, not directly anyway. But let us say they made it very clear to me that the wounded from the king's army were the priority. And there is no shortage of them.
But there hasn't been a battle for some time.
Exactly. They are bored. So they get drunk and knock each other's teeth out or strain their backs in the baths.
Are you certain that knight could still be helped? Might treating him have been pointless?
Only Allah can cure the ill. I can lessen their pain, put them into a deep sleep or such. But who am I to decide whether or not the pain will return, or if they will wake up from their sleep? I do have plenty of experience, though, and I think I can recognize who has a chance of surviving and who does not.
Thank you. Thanks for your help. I didn't learn much, but I'll manage somehow.
That is... all right. I would not like for that poor fellow to have...
What?
What the fuck are you doing here?
You fucker! Get him, lad! I'll beat you to a bloody pulp, fucker! I've been warned! Right! Show your stuff!
Wanker!
Enough!
You really won't have anything to drink?
I've come about that
Have you got it?
Yes.
By Christ, Henry. All them men couldn't find it, and you just come strolling in. And the soldiers who were taking it to Sedlitz, did you find them as well?
Aye. But they weren't planning to go to Sedlitz. They deserted, and were hiding out in the sawmill near Lahota.
Horsons. Where are they now? What did you do with them?
I took care of them. They got what they deserved.
Well, well, he might look like a stripling, but he's anything but. Nice work. That's your mission accomplished, then. You're one of us from now on, Henry. Here, take our Waffen Rock and wear it with... And you know what? I think you should get paid right now. And a bit extra, even if I have to go without.
So we can move out from the camp at last?
First things first. You know the first thing every real soldier does when he gets paid? He gets shit... Musa, did you hear? Henry here found us that stupid document.
And he dealt with the traitors. Perhaps even too well for my taste.
Let them rot in hell, the Horsens.
And what now? Will you head out for Sedlets?
The sooner the better. Don't tell me you'll miss me.
It is just that you have not finished telling me the story of George and the dragon.
Really? All right, but telling a story like that needs a proper drink first. You too, Henry. Drink.
As you command, sir.
Long live the Proggers. At last, I don't have to drink alone. Moose is not much of a drinking companion, see?
Alcohol and gambling may have their uses, but they are also sinful. And much more sinful than beneficial. I mean, look at yourself. A man should have 4 humors in his body. But you have replaced them all with alcohol.
You're no saint yourself. I've heard from the bathhouse wenches how you can't take your eyes off them.
Every creature is beautiful and noble. For Allah created them thus. I'm just admiring his work.
You've got a way with words, I'll give you that. All the more reason I don't understand why you don't drink and play dice.
I simply do not want to.
But I fucking do. So come on, Henry. You'll play with me at least.
Nah, why not?
That's the spirit.
Careful, friend. Winning money off the captain is never a good idea.
We'll see whose side luck is on today. That'll do me. Roll. Well, you're not afraid of anything. That's still all right. It'd be worse if you already had 3 ones. Great!
I won! That's the...
Ah, damn it. I almost had you. Oh well, you were better, sir. That's all there is to it.
Come now, don't start blubbing. You'll get me back next time, won't you? And now for a drink.
And so St. George hops on his white steed, and he rides to the lake, where he sees a huge mountain with a cave at the bottom. Stench of sulfur, it's wafting from it. And so he shouts at the top of his lungs into the cave and says, "Come out, dragon! I challenge you to a fight!" And so, all of a sudden, the mountain moves, and the massive dragon looks down at George and says, "Sir Knight, I accept your challenge, but why the fuck are you shouting up my arse?" I love that, sir. Up his arse.
Sir, you have to come with me quickly. The surgeon too.
Can't you see we're in the middle of serious debate?
No, please, come quickly, before it's too late.
What's going on?
This is Chatan. He leads the Cumans.
He has been stabbed. tuts bezeni. Kitchen outdoors.
Who did it?
We will not get anything out of him in this state. We must get him to the infirmary before he bleeds to death.
Someone, please explain to me what the fuck is going on here.
They said they just found him like this.
These two, they were on guard in the tower, and out of the blue they heard a scream.
When his men find out about this, we'll be lucky to not end up in the same position as him.
We've got to move him quickly. He's in plain sight here.
Quick, before it's too late.
I'll help you with him. You two, go to the gate. Don't let anyone in. You got it? What are your orders, Lord of Burmlaka?
What do you think? Catch the bastard who did it!
Well, that never would have occurred to me. We're lucky to have you here.
Don't make me mad! If your men had done their sentry duty properly, we could have spared ourselves this fuck-up!
I'll deal with Aldebert and Radovan, don't you worry. But now we have to do something.
All right. You search this place, and I'll go to see Chertan in the infirmary.
Right now? What good can you do there? Be better if you help me here.
Do what I said and don't concern yourself with me. I'll go where I want, when I want.
Fine. Go to hell for all I care. So, Henry, Chertan's at death's door. Musa is up to his elbows in his guts. Grosov won't do a fucking thing. And I'm pissed out of my head. I'd like to hear any suggestions.
We have to tell someone. Let's leave for Sedlets first thing in the morning, and let Sigismund sort it out himself.
Have you lost your fucking... If Sigismund finds out what happened, he'll throw us to that Kuman rabble in the hope they won't all fuck off back to Hungary. We're gonna have to sort this out. Being a commander here is a right pain in the arse. Soldiering was different in my day. Nobody would have dared stab an officer right in the camp. You know what, soldier? I'm gonna go and take care of something.
What am I supposed to be
I don't know. Anything. Have a look around. Check Chertan's tent. It's the one next to the stables. Maybe you'll find some clues. Maybe you'll find the murderer himself if he's a total idiot. Again, we're all slaughtered. Sigismund wants us all hung, drawn, and quartered.
And the lock looks scratched. Maybe someone tried to get inside without a key. Was someone trying to steal something? Or perhaps I'm not the only one who's looking to make mischief here. Oh, there's powder all over the place. One spark and the whole store would be blown sky high. Are the soldiers really so lax? Or could there be more to it than that? Yeah, Catherine was right. I'll never get such a massive cannon out of here. I have to get Katz to move it out of the camp somehow. And lo and behold, where might this trail of blood lead to? A lockpick. Maybe the murderer used it to unlock the powder store and then got rid of it here. Right.
Did you find it?
I noticed that the powder store is unlocked. That can't be deliberate, can it?
No, it fucking can't. Unless Chertan wanted to spice up his porridge in the middle of the night, it looks like there's a thief about again.
Again?
It's already happened once or twice that someone went to steal powder. That's why we had it moved up here. Maybe Chertan disturbed the thief on the job and he started waving a dagger around.
But why would anyone steal black powder?
How about because it's fucking expensive? You'd be surprised who'd happily take it off your hands. In Corinthia, I met this bloke who used black powder to blow up cliffs. You make a hole, pour in the powder, cover it up again, and set fire to it. He did pretty well for himself, but in the end a flying rock tore his head off. But this isn't the time or place for that. Let's go to the infirmary instead and take a look at Chertan. Maybe Musa's already finished with...
Where the fuck have you been all this while you lot have been playing with cocks up there? Chertan croaked.
What? Musa couldn't save him?
That fucking sawbone of yours finished him off, more like. He took one of his pagan potions and poured it down his throat.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's what I'd like to know. Can someone explain what the fuck happened here?
Chertan's dead. Not from his wounds. He was poisoned. So Grozav is right about that. But he could not be more wrong about the rest.
How dare you, you foreign dog!
Calm down, sir. Go on, Musa.
When Chertan was brought here, he was bleeding heavily, and his wounds needed stitching. But he survived. Then I gave him some wine to prepare him for treatment. That is the usual procedure. But what was not usual was that he started vomiting blood. And then he died.
I'd bet it was the wine that killed him. There's lots of poisons you could add to it, and nobody would notice. Well, until it's too late, of course.
You are probably right.
How come you even have wine here? You keep saying you're not allowed to drink.
As I said, I give it to wounded men to ease their pain and for certain complaints. At the right dose, it can be very beneficial. It is not all that common in my country, but I follow the teachings of the great scholar Ibn Sina. You Christians know him as Avicenna. I tried other alcohol as well, but drinking mead makes my patients worse. And if I give them beer, they almost always shit themselves.
That's enough! Keep an eye on this fiend till I bring the guards.
Wait, sir. I have no idea what happened here. But Musa is definitely innocent. Chertan was stabbed first, wasn't he? And Musa was with me in my tent when that happened.
So, he's in league with someone else?
With one of the half-wits here? I doubt that.
Are you sure you're not trying to cover for him?
I beg your pardon.
Don't try that on me. I know very well you and that foreigner are best pals.
I will happily take an oath. I may not be a nobleman like you, but that doesn't mean I don't have my honor.
There's no way Musa is to blame. Even if he wanted to kill Chertan, he must have known that suspicion would fall on him first.
The lad's right.
Might I say a word about this matter?
You can be glad you're not in irons.
Please, sir. Give me some time, and I will bring to you the real murderer. We won't leave this place until we clear this up. You have my word.
So I'm supposed to let a murderer go and put up with you in my camp meanwhile. Are you yanking my pizzle?
But, sir...
Silence! Musa will remain under guard in his tent. He will not speak to anyone until the royal justiciar arrives from Sedlets. He'll deal with him. And my advice to you two is to sit on your asses and twiddle your thumbs. If word gets out that Chertan's been done in, things will get pretty hot around here for all of us.
Where do you think you're going, Henry? Stay here and talk. What do you say to all this?
Well, sir, I may not understand what all this is about, but I think we should help Musa somehow.
I'm glad we see eye to eye on this.
Well, what are we going to do then?
That's what I'd like to know. We have to find the real murderer as quickly as possible. But what do I know about that? I'm not the royal justice here.
What is this royal justice?
He's a crown official who makes sure the law is enforced in this land. His people catch and try all sorts of counterfeiters, rebels, aye, murderers too. Sigismund may not have appointed one yet, but I've heard he's put Steber of Steversitz in charge of this kind of thing. And if that's true, and Gorzov brings him here, we're all in the shit.
Who is this Stibor of Stiborgits?
A real big cheese, lad. He owns half of Upper Hungary. You don't get that kind of wealth by being kind-hearted. Trust me.
You really don't have any idea what to do next?
How could I? We should probably talk to Musa. Find out exactly what happened.
But Grozov has him under guard.
And there's no way I can get to him. Everyone knows my face. But you could do it.
Me?
Who else, Sol? I need help. Someone I can trust. And you spent the whole evening with me, so you're not a suspect. You have to get rid of the guard some.
All right. How much time do we have? To find the murderer, I mean.
I'm not sure. Grozov will most likely write a report to Sigismund, and delivering it to Sedlitz won't take long. Then he has to decide what to do next, which means sending the Royal Justiciar here. And how long can that take? I'd say we...
All right.
Good idea. Grozov's men are all blockheads. It'll be easy as pie. And Henry, be careful.
That bastard. We're stuck here because of him. I hope Musa will know what to do. That bastard. We're stuck here because of him. I hope Musa will know what to do.
I'm always glad to see polite people like you. God be with you.
Henry?
Now, to hell with Grozov. Katz believes you didn't do it. We have to clear your name somehow.
I truly appreciate that. But I am not sure that... Tinje sireye, mene mene sireye.
What?
It is a proverb from my country. It means the road to truth has many twists and turns.
Well, we'll straighten them all out. Don't worry. But I'm gonna need your help. What happened when you brought Chertan?
I already told you everything. We laid him on the table. Crow went his own way and I started cleaning Chertan's wounds. Then I gave him some wine to drink. And he suddenly began to shake and vomit blood soon after. He was dead.
And what happened next?
Then the noble lord of Bölüm arrived and started to go mad.
Did Chertan say anything before he died?
He tried to, but my Hungarian is not as good as I thought. He was coughing so much that I could not understand anything.
What about that wine? Could I take a look at it?
Lord Grozov poured it away in anger before you arrived, so that I could not poison anyone else, he said.
He poured it away? When it could have helped us? The wine was evidence.
Evidence that here in Bohemia you will drink, even vinegar. It smelt and looked the same, as always. Except perhaps it was a little more cloudy.
Where was the wine from?
A bathhouse maid brought it to me along with my clean laundry. A very pretty girl. Black hair, nicely built. Catherine, I think she's called.
Catherine?
Absolutely. But I doubt that she was mixed up in this. Chertan was not the first person I gave the wine to today. The wine must have been poisoned here, in my infirmary.
All right.
But I have done some thinking about that. After all, what else can I do here? The best thing would be to investigate the poison. Every poison has different effects. One makes your hair fall out. Another turns your guts inside out. If we discover what poison was used on Chertan, We just have to find it, and the mystery is solved.
Well, wouldn't it be enough to search the whole camp? I don't imagine many people here keep poison on them, eh?
You would be surprised, my friend. I may not be an expert, but I know that many everyday things are actually poisonous. What is more, you cannot just run around the camp searching people and then try to figure out which of that horde is the murderer.
How can we identify the poison, then?
That is not hard. I examine the dead body, I find the symptoms of the poison, and I compare them with known effects of poisons. That is...
And could I help you? Can't be that hard.
Certainly not. Why study something for years when common sense is enough? I'm sorry. That was the first thing to do, is to go to Chetan's corpse and examine it thoroughly. Arms, legs, face. You must remember everything that looks strange to you. In the infirmary, you'll find a chest. Take from it my almanac of poisons and compare what you saw with the symptoms described there. You can read.
Aye.
Excellent. The chest is locked. But I trust you will manage somehow.
You have a whole book just about poisons? Where did you get it?
I bought it on my way here, in Moravia. I have not yet had time to study it properly, but please, do not mention it to anyone. It would not look good for someone in my situation to have such a book. You surely understand.
Right. Examine Chetan's body and read the book. I can manage that. Who do you think killed Chetan?
I have no idea. But what I do know is that we will not get anywhere if we suspect everyone in the camp. Who do you think is the prime suspect at this moment?
I heard Sir Grozov couldn't stand Chetan.
I have heard the same. And did you notice how quickly he accused me?
Well?
I think it must be someone from here. A stranger would have been noticed. What is more, most people are not allowed up to the powder store, and I would bet that it was one of us who was there at the time. And because it cannot be you, me, or Katz, that leaves Grozov, Stephen, and the two guards. Someone should question them all. Maybe their statements will give something away.
Well, I don't have much time, but I'll try to talk to them.
I am very good.
What if we forgot about finding the murderer, and I just helped you escape? You'd be long gone before Grozov found out.
Thank you for the offer. But look at me. My appearance is a little conspicuous. There is nowhere for me to hide in this country. And even if I did get away by some miracle, they would punish you and Katz instead of me. I cannot allow that.
Was it you who found...
Aye. Me and my comrade there.
I need to ask you a couple of questions.
I don't know nothing. We didn't do nothing.
You really didn't see anything? You're standing there on the tower, and you don't hear a man getting murdered? That's a bit odd, isn't it?
Are you deaf? I told you we didn't notice nothing.
No, I believe you. But that only tells me you weren't taking your guard duty as seriously as you claim you were.
Well,
What's possible?
it's possible we dozed off for a while.
Oh, Christ. I knew it. You two were asleep up there.
No! We might have just shut one eye for a moment, but we wasn't sleeping. We'd have noticed if anything happened there. But before Chetan started yelling, it was all peace and quiet.
What did you do when you found Chetan?
It all happened so fast. Before we could come to our senses and decide what to do, Crow turned up.
Crow?
Aye. He heard the racket and came to see what was going on. And I'll tell you, when he saw Chetan, he went as pale as a ghost. If it wasn't for him, Chetan would have bled to death there.
How did you find Chetan?
We heard yelling, so we went to take a look. I don't miss nothing, see? And there was Chetan, crawling in pool of the blood and babbling something. But I don't understand their gibberish, do I?
Before the murder, did you see anyone hanging around by the powder store? Doing something with the lock, maybe? Or already inside, even?
Nobody went up there the whole night. I'm telling you, we was watching like hawks.
There were two of you on guard duty, yeah? What's the other soldier like?
Him? He's a good pal, the best in the whole camp. Always happy to listen to what I have to say, and that's plenty, believe me. The things I've seen since we left Prague. I'd never have dreamt of some of the things I've seen in this world. I'm sorry.
Why me?
All right. Holy Mary, Mother of God, don't let me miss anything. And forgive me for what I'm doing to this unfortunate... He looks a bit ruddy. But is that from the poison? Or was he just drunk? I can't see anything strange here. No bruises or broken lips. I suppose the murderer surprised him and didn't give him a chance to defend himself. He coughed up some blood, all right, but he also threw his guts up. That's a nasty wound. I almost feel sorry for Chet. Why would someone kill him in the most heavily guarded part of the camp, instead of trying to lure him outside? Several stab wounds in the belly, all close together and very deep. The murderer definitely knew what he was doing, though that hardly narrows down the field in an army camp. Almost everything is covered in blood, but there doesn't seem to have been much of a fight. I can't see anything ripped or sliced off. There's nothing missing. Whoever killed him, it doesn't look like a robbery. He looks horribly rigid and contorted. He must have died in awful spasms. Nothing strange here except the stiffness and broken nails. Could he have dug his nails into the table when the spasm started? And what's this here? Something that looks like warts. But did the poison cause them? Or was he a filthy pig and always had them? Completely rigid. Just like the arms. Oh, Christ. I've heard it happens to the dead, but that much? Maybe the poison did that. That'll have to do. He had spasms. He shot himself. Warts or lesions on his hands. As red as a poppy. But that could be from drinking or lots of things. I mustn't forget anything. Right, that's that. I should tell Musa what I've learned. I read that book of yours, and
What do you mean, you think?
The potion is called Kiss of Death. It causes vomiting, cramps, boils, and rapid death.
This name means nothing to me. I suppose I did not get that far in the book. But if you think the symptoms are the same, I will believe you. Are you sure it was that poison? Were there not more in the book?
Absolutely certain. The murderer couldn't have used anything else.
All right. I have no choice but to believe you. Now, we can only hope that the murderer has not had time to get rid of the evidence.
I better start. You said that the suspects are Grozav, Crow, and the 2 guards. This won't take long.
Wait a moment. There is something I must tell you.
Of course. Go on.
First, you should know that I am grateful for what you are doing. Were it not for your investigation, I probably would not be standing here. Even so, it is strange. For months, the people here have been sitting around doing nothing. Then suddenly, you turn up, and everything is turned upside down. You have done more in a few days than others in many weeks.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Of course it is. I'm only saying that I find it very, very strange.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is this some kind of loyalty test or something? I'm just doing what I'm told to do. Is there something wrong with that?
I have more important things to do than to try to trick you. I am asking you sincerely, as a friend, who are you?
All right. I'll try to trust you. Maybe I'm not King Sigismund's most ardent supporter.
I knew it! I could tell straight away that you were cleverer than others in this camp.
You're pleased? Aren't you a courtier of his?
It was not my first choice. Or do you think I long to spend half my life in some dirty tent?
How did you come to be in Sigismund's court?
That is a long story. I once served Sultan Bayezid. Although the Osmans are not that welcoming to my people, the Sultan at the time received envoys from all over the world, so I was useful. But soon after, we found ourselves at war with Timur and his Golden Horde. Luckily, that is, luckily for me, it was around then that Sigismund's messenger came to see the Sultan. And I managed to persuade the Sultan to send me to Hungary as a goodwill gesture. I am sure you understand that I did not want to wait for Timur's savages to cut my head off. But let us just say that King Sigismund did not show me the respect my position is worthy of. Instead of making me his counselor and physician, he sent me here.
Well, you could go elsewhere if you don't like it here. I know a few people who would value someone like you.
I am grateful to you, my friend. But I must refuse. I have had many experiences in life and come out of them alive. And because I am a total coward. And not just that, I am duly proud of it. I would be very happy to get away from here and perhaps even return home, but only when I am sure I will survive the journey. So I think it will be best if we each go our own way.
You know nothing.
And this conversation...
I better go and search.
Good luck.
Stop, you bastard!
But Katz himself...
And I was put...
I'd be with you. Keep the peace, and we'll stay friends.
How did you find...
I don't remember too well. I remember we heard someone yelling. So we ran down to the ammunition store, and there he was on the ground.
Have you noticed anyone suspicious hanging around by the powder store recently?
There's always someone going in and out. But no strangers. Not everyone can get up to that part of the camp. In fact, everyone who has access came to the place where Churton was lying.
As far as I know, there were 2 of you on guard duty on the tower. What's the other soldier like?
Him? God's teeth. He's the most annoying bloke I've ever met. Can't keep his mouth shut. A complete twat.
Anyone can be a bit of a twat sometimes.
But he out-twats them all. He never stops banging on about the most run-of-the-mill things. Like, he was living in a cave until now. I try to tell him I'm not fucking interested, but he doesn't take any notice. Between you and me, it's quite a relief that this business with Churton shut him up for a while.
He's the camp commander, but it looks like a pauper lives here. I reckon Grozov's fallen on hard times. Oh, that's valerian, I believe. It helps relieve pain, but it's also used to make dollmaker potion. But Chertan was poisoned with kiss of death. Or was he? Could we talk about Chertan?
Why? Musa is under lock and key, and the king's deputy...
But sir, we both know whatever happened with the poison wine, Musa can't have stabbed Chertan. I want to find out who else is involved in this. After all, you too could be in danger till this is all cleared up. I just have a couple of questions. I won't keep you long. You'll see.
Oh, get... But if you think you can persuade me to let Musa go, you're out of...
How come you got to the site of the stabbing so quickly?
My tent is right next to it, you rat-faced half-wit. I heard Chertan yelling and I went to take a look.
Did you notice anything strange?
Like what, a stabbed man?
Maybe you saw someone acting strangely around there?
No. I gave a clear order that nobody unauthorized is allowed up here. It's bad enough that you're here. Is there anything else? Or...
Were you there when...
No, not at that moment. When I arrived, Chertan was already dead, and Musa was standing over him, white as a sheet. Well, paler than usual.
Had Chertan been behaving strangely recently?
No more than usual.
Did he mention having any conflicts with anyone?
Apart from me, you mean? I don't know how you imagine it, but we don't exactly go round holding hands here.
I took a look at the powder store where they found Chertan. I noticed it was unlocked. Someone forced the lock and moved the barrels of powder around.
What's that got to do with me?
Well, it almost looks like someone went there to steal. Do you have any idea who it might have been?
What the fuck are you trying to suggest?
Nothing. I'm just asking questions.
And next time.
Do you...
Though I have to admit, I'm surprised it was the Sawbones Musa who killed him.
Well, how could he have? He was with me and Katz when Chertan was stabbed.
So he was in league with someone. How do I know?
Good to see you. You're a kind master.
The water smells of flowers of some kind. Like roses? Oak. And dry as a bone. Nails. Is Crow planning on building a cottage instead of a tent? But they're covered in some kind of dirt. Hold on. Nails, rosewater, oak bark. They're all used to brew Kiss of Death. Where the hell did a common soldier get so much money? Something stinks here. I'd like to ask a couple of questions about Chertan's murder.
I have a couple of questions of my own. What actually happened? Kat said Chertan is dead and Musa's locked up.
It's even more complicated than that. But I don't have time to explain it to you now. I need to ask you a couple of questions.
Go ahead and ask then, but quietly, damn it. I don't want anyone to know about it.
Where were you when Chertan was poisoned?
Where do you think? In my tent. After I helped take him to the infirmary with Musa, I went my own way.
You just went off to have a nap?
No. I doubled the guard, drew up the orders for tomorrow, and made sure nobody was allowed to leave the camp. When something like this happens, people like me have lots to do all of a sudden.
It was you who came to tell us that Chertan had been stabbed, wasn't it? How did you get involved in the first place?
Me? I was close by, that's all. My tent is right below the palisade. And when the two guards found Chertan, they ran to get me.
Hold on. The two guards said otherwise. They said they found Chertan and were discussing what to do when you turned up. By yourself.
Is that what they said? It's possible. I can't remember now. It all happened so fast. And anyway, how am I supposed to remember all this shit? Maybe I heard them and went to see what was going on.
Are you sure you don't want to tell me what really happened?
All right. You want the truth, so I'll tell you the truth. In fact, I really was up top. It's because I had to keep an eye on you.
Me? Why, for Christ's sake?
You really don't know? You may have been given our colours, but you're still a stranger. I didn't want you running around unsupervised. But it seems you're a decent fella, so don't fuck it up now.
Tell me more about the storage space.
What about it? There's a cannon and some powder there. We built it a few days after we arrived because it's a good idea to keep that kind of stuff safe. If it blew up, the whole place would be blown to smithereens. And if someone didn't happen to set fire to it, someone else might have robbed it. Folk are like magpies.
Oh, except for...
Very droll. Never heard that one before. Aye, but now I'll ask you something. Who do you think did it?
Yeah, I've no idea. The whole thing is strange. Nobody knows anything, but everyone's got something to say.
You can't expect it to be simple, Henry. You join the army, it's a fight for fuck's sake.
Who has the key to the ammunition store?
I don't know. Katz and Groz have for sure, but I've no idea if anyone else has a key. I'm too small fry for that.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about Chertan's murder.
What's that got to do?
Well, it was just that I found a couple of interesting things in your tent. Isn't there something you should tell me?
No, and get off my back.
Calm down. If I wanted to snitch on you, I'd go straight to Katz without bothering to ask you any questions.
Well, let's say you might have a point. What was it you said?
You know something about the murder, don't you?
Maybe a little, but I don't want word to get out, all right?
Why would anyone kill Chertan anyway?
Maybe it wasn't about Chertan. Maybe someone wanted to do something in the ammunition store, but Chertan turned up, so he had to kill him.
In the ammunition store? What would anyone be doing there?
Trying to blow it sky high.
What? What good would that do anyone?
It might make him very rich. Let's say Sigismund has a lot of enemies who are planning something big. It'll start in Italy, I hear, and it'd come in very handy if someone gave the king a setback before that. He'd lose allies there, and here his camp goes to shit. There's sure to be dozens of saboteurs all over the empire, just like the one here.
I should probably report you. But I've got a much better idea. Let's say I'm not a great supporter of Sigismund. What if we were to help each other out?
That doesn't sound bad. Let me finish my work. We can put the blame for Chertan's murder on Grozav. I can't stand that fucker anyway.
What, accusing an innocent man? But he'll be executed.
Better him than me. So?
But there's one condition. The storeroom doesn't blow up until we set off for Sedlets. I need that cannon of yours.
Ah, so that's why you're here. All right, I can arrange that. I'll prepare a long fuse and light it just before departure. With a bit of luck, we'll be long gone when it blows up. But first, we have to get rid of Grozav. I have a poisonous plant here. Put it in the chest in his tent, and at the trial, we'll say he used it to poison Chertan.
That won't be necessary. I've been in his tent, and he already has a couple of poisonous plants there.
Really? Christ, there's more to him than meets the eye. All the better for us, though. Oh, and don't try to double...
There's nothing here. Moose is definitely not to blame. Right. I found out all I could.
That fast? You're yanking my pizzle. Go and find some more evidence. So, see, boy...
Right. I found out all I could.
My word, you're bristling with confidence. We still have some time, so calm down, or you'll give yourself a fit. In the meantime...
Well then, gentlemen. I understood from your letter roughly what happened, and I trust we can settle the matter quickly and quietly. But before we get started, I have to say you've disappointed me, Sir Grosov. King Sigismund placed his trust in you, but you don't seem to be up to the task.
That's not true. I took a few tattered tents and turned them into a proper military camp. Everything here is as it should be.
Only your soldiers seem to die from time to time, eh?
There are always problems, but as you can see, I can deal with them. We caught Musa of Mali in the act. You just need to pronounce judgment.
Musa is innocent.
Christ, Henry, be quiet.
And who...
That is Henry, sir. One of my best soldiers. He just doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut.
Let him speak, then. I'm sure he has something very important to tell us. Tell me, lad, why is Musa innocent, in your opinion?
Well, that's simple, sir. Musa was with me and Commander Katz at the time when Chertan was stabbed.
That doesn't prove anything.
Do you think I stabbed him? From afar?
Musa of Mali will remain silent until I personally ask him a question.
Katz and the boy were drunk. Musa could easily have disappeared for a while. Nobody would have noticed him in the dark anyway.
I find that hard to believe. But if it wasn't Musa, who did kill Chertan?
Chertan was killed by the camp commander, Grozov of Boromlaka.
What?
You scum! How dare you!
Silence!
You aren't going to let this peasant insult me, are you, sir? You should cut him down to size.
That can wait. First, I want to know how he came up with this insolent claim. And start at the beginning. What happened that night by the powder store, by your reckoning?
So Grozov was most likely trying to steal black powder. It's very valuable, and often gets stolen, I've heard. But Chertan caught him in the act. There was a fight, and that's how it ended.
Me? Stealing? What impudence!
What do you base this on?
There was powder scattered all over the storeroom floor. Chertan disturbed Sir Grozov, then he spilt the powder.
I've had enough of this. Another word and I'll have your tongue cut out.
But Sir Grozov, why are you getting so worked up over this simple fellow? You don't have anything to hide, do you?
Me? Of course not.
See then? What happened next? You carried Chertan to the infirmary? Isn't that right, Sir Musa?
Yes, sir. There, I gave him wine to drink, and I prepared to stitch his wounds, but he died before I could.
It seems someone poisoned the poor fella.
Grozov went to the infirmary a little before me and Katz. He could easily have had time to poison the wine Musa gave to Chertan.
What say you, Sir Musa?
It cannot be ruled out.
Well, Sir Grozov, what actually happened?
Why are you all still listening to that dung grubber? Where would I get hold of poison?
You brewed it up yourself. I found lots of valerian in your tent, which is used to make dollmaker potion. And that's exactly what was used to kill Chertan, sir.
That's enough. You'll die, you liar.
Silence! I've heard more than enough. Sir Grozov, you will come with me.
Me?
The king will not stand for wrongdoing among his nobles. That must be punished.
But I didn't do anything.
Don't make this harder than it need be.
Keep away from me.
Calm now, sir. Calm down.
Shut up, you worm. It's all your fault anyway. I won't let you put this on me. You hear?
To hell with you!
Well, Sir Stibor, one problem is cleared up, and another one takes its place.
I wouldn't say that. We've rid the king of one idiot. It's just a pity Cherton had to die because of it. And I apologize to you, Sir Musa, for the unpleasantness you suffered.
My head will remain on my shoulders. That is the main thing.
What will happen to the camp now?
That is not your concern. I will personally take command. You just get rid of the corpse and clear out the royal tent for me.
With pleasure. We won't be staying long anyway, will we, Henry?
As you command.
Then I do command, soldier. Go and pack.
Have I got time to stop by the baths? There's something I need to sort out there.
All right, but hurry. I don't intend to make the journey in the dark just because you want to dip your wick one last time.
Good to see you.
It's happening. The Praggers are leaving for Sedlets.
At last, I won't have to wash the Cuman's asses anymore.
Tell Zizka everything, so they're ready for the ambush.
I will. But be careful once it all starts. I wouldn't want Dry Devil blowing your brains out by mistake.
All right, I'm ready. We can get out of here.
The son of the deserters, traitors, murders. I'm getting too old for all this. But the really heavy shit is, I can't imagine how I'm going to explain to the king that Sir Grozov, who he personally put in charge of his soldiers, is a murderer.
Well, maybe it won't be so bad, and Sir Stibor will back you up. I heard Sigismund wasn't too fond of Grozov.
It's just he can't say it openly because the other nobles wouldn't like it. Well, let's leave it be now. Otherwise we won't get out of it. Said let's away.
So the devil jumps in from behind a tree. But Pa, who's already got his blood up, just grabs him by the arms, wrestles him to the ground, and then starts giving the devil such a hiding. The fur is flying off. Wait, fellas. After Pa was done with him, the devil. So he says, what the fuck?
You're a dead man!
Smash his face in! Bleeding like...
But he's still standing!
You won't get away with
There.
What's the matter? Aren't you happy?
It just doesn't seem right, what we did to those people.
Not people, the enemy. Remember that. Trust me, you'll sleep a lot better. By the way, who's that fella over there? The one who fought on our side?
He's called Crow. We met in the camp. I wouldn't say he's our ally, but he's against Sigismund. He killed the Cuman's commander and blew up the ammunition store. It's a long story.
Fucking hell, now that's a man. I like the sound of him a lot more than a lot who've settled into Devil's Den. Brabant has already brought up his promised reinforcements.
What are they like?
Well, you'll see for yourself. But now, we have to get out of here first.
Yeah, the sooner we make ourselves scarce, the better.
To the task.
Seems like we poked a hornet's nest with that ambush, eh?
We did. And that means the Devil's Den won't be safe much longer.
Another reason not to stick around there and attack Malashov.
Well, we're in luck. Ada's just returned from a scouting mission, and he says von Burkov's at the castle.
And what about Brabant's men? You were saying you don't like the look of them.
I just don't trust them somehow. But I'll admit that Frenchman surprised me. They're no greenhorns.
We'll see how they fare in battle.
Indeed we will. We'll soon get going. Get ready, and then...
So, mon ami, are you ready to go and capture le Seigneur von Berghoff?
I'm sorry.
Me? Yeah. But I hope your mercenaries will be up to the job.
Ne t'inquiète pas, mon ami. Le Seigneur Morgenstern can always be relied upon.
Who is this Morgenstern?
C'est un bon ami à moi. We met years ago au Grand Tournoi de Lorraine, at the estate of the Duke there.
Can he be trusted?
Le Chevalier Morgenstern is not only a warrior, but also a serious patron of the heart. A man of renown.
How did you find Morgenstern?
Pendant que vous étiez chez les Hongrois, I went to Kuttenberg. Le Chevalier Morgenstern was with Sigismund. But he turned him down because, le roi n'a pas d'argent. The king has run out of coin.
So he's just an ordinary mercenary?
Not ordinary. He's a renowned condottiere.
Where does this
From Brunswick. His ancestor fought for Emperor Charles. A good house, mon ami.
So why is he earning a living as a mercenary?
C'est une triste histoire. He lost considerable estates due to his relatives and battles in Eastern Prussia.
So he became impoverished?
In truth, it was more his passion for art that led him to ruin.
Sir Vaculin, you've had an exciting life. Tell me some stories.
Bien sûr. Your interest is gratifying and quite understandable.
Where does the name Brabant come from?
That is simple. My compatriots call me that because I am originally from Brabant province. And, the name stuck. One day, I shall tell you about my place of birth, but I am sure you will long to hear about the conquest of Arezzo, yes? Or would you rather hear how I saved the King of France from certain death?
Arezzo sounds interesting.
And so it was. That is where I earned my knighthood from the great Enguerrand de Concy himself, the commander of our Naples campaign. Enguerrand arranged his forces for battle, and I was put in charge of one of the cavalry units. Out of nowhere, the enemy appeared on our unprotected flank, and Enguerrand set me to hold them back so our main force could regroup. But I saw a gap in the enemy's main phalanx. I sounded the charge and sped forwards.
Wasn't that rather risky?
Un chevalier français fears nothing.
I reckon King Sigismund would think otherwise after...
That was completely different. Alors, I caught them by surprise. I hacked my way to their standard and broke through all the way to the enemy's reserves. My attack sowed confusions in the enemy's ranks that encouraged the overlords who raced to join me, scattering everything in their path. And that is how we won the famous victory at Arezzo. Seeing that the force that was supposed to protect them had been routed. The city then surrendered to us. No doubt you had no inkling at Maleshov what a knight you had the honor to meet. And of course my feats on the field of battle do not end there.
A bold maneuver.
Quite right. Courage is my middle name. Just as Monsieur Chapon says, Audantes Fortuna Juva. That day I was the bravest of them all and won the day.
So you disobeyed your commander and left your flank exposed. Your attack could have ended in a total fiasco. You were lucky the others came to your assistance and your entire force didn't collapse.
I hear envy speaking, but you are still wet behind the ear. In short, I saw an opportunity and took it. Moments like that can decide entire wars.
What did your commander have to say?
He made me a knight and sent me to the royal court to inform the sovereign of our triumph.
I reckon he wanted to get you out of his hair.
Do not talk nonsense.
What other feats have you performed?
Oh, many, mon ami. For one battle does not make a warrior. It would take a week to recount them all, so I will just tell you about my second greatest feat. On the Italian field, we faced John Hawkwood, a ruthless Englishman and a fearsome warrior. Surrounded, we were at his mercy. Night fell, and we knew he would attack at dawn, and that would be it. But just then, Providence put an idea in my mind.
You went to parley?
Mais non! You cannot reason with les Anglais. Unobserved, I mounted my horse and set off to find help. And, La Dame Chance was exceedingly kind to me that day. As I rode away, by chance, I stepped off of our horses. Thinking we were trying to break through, les Anglais went to head them off. But while the English were occupied with my Marseille, our units managed to flee. I saved many men from certain death that night, and many lords from the disgrace of capture. Needless to say, I was generously rewarded for my valor.
That is... But you were just trying to flee, weren't you?
I wanted to bring reinforcements, but as I say, I merely follow Providence, and she guides my steps, from triumph to triumph, wherever I go. Stick.
How did you save the King of France?
With Providence as my guide, I came to the court from the field of battle to bring news of our victory, because, and remember this, the bearer of good news is always rewarded and cherished. But the king was in a bad mood and did not wish to be disturbed. Maybe I thought the news of our victory will dispel his ill humor.
How could you tell him if he didn't want to be disturbed?
Ha! I climbed up to his balcony and into his chambers to surprise him with the joyful tidings. And lo and behold, the king was writhing and gasping on the floor, overcome by one of his fits. Wasting not a moment, I dashed over to him and unblocked his throat, thus saving his life. In return, the king bestowed on me the title of a chanson, or cupbearer, and other generous gifts. And I then spent a while in his service at court. Unfortunately, though, even the king's favor does not last forever, and minor mistakes can come to overshadow good deeds.
What happened at court that led to you being out of favor?
Well, perhaps I shall tell you some other time. Would you not rather hear about the glorious duel between Le Gris and Carouge?
Tell me what happened at court that caused you to lose favor.
Ah, a major setback and a gross injustice, mon ami. It is an unhappy memory, because it was the first time that La Dame Chance abandoned me.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. We can all learn from our failures. And I bet even your failures make for great stories.
Oui, that is certainly true. Very well then. I suffered a combination of misfortunes all at once. But bad luck in business and on a hunt were the worst of all.
Luckery and Cargouche. Sounds like a pair of jesters.
En aucun cas. Jacques Le Gris and Jean de Carouge. These two great knights were in a legal dispute over an estate. But above all, when de Carouge was on a campaign, Le Gris fornicated with his wife. She claimed that he had raped her, while he said he had seduced him. And because everyone swore to their own truth on the Bible, the matter had to be settled by combat. First, they jousted. Then they fought on foot with sword and axe. Le Gris thought victory was in his grasp, but de Carouge suddenly pounced on him, wrested him to the ground, and beat him so terribly that he knocked off his helmet and cuirass. Even so, Le Gris refused to admit his guilt, and de Carouge drove a dagger through his neck. And if you promise not to tell, I will let you into a secret.
Tell me the secret. I promise I'll keep it to myself.
Bien. As I say, de Carouge killed Le Gris with a dagger. And I found that dagger in the mud after the duel. A blessed blade, an instrument of divine justice. The dagger that ended the last trial by combat France ever witnessed. An item of great value. So, I had several copies made and sold them to rich French noblemen. That is how I first came into wealth. And I used the coin to buy the horse and armor I needed to set off in pursuit of glory in battle.
That's fraud.
You need to be more enterprising, mon ami. Where you see fraud, I saw an opportunity. It was one of the greatest things I ever saw, and I have seen a lot. Believe me. Half of France came to watch, including the king himself, who then banned trial by combat in France forever. I later told the story to anyone who was interested. One of my listeners, a certain Froissart, wrote my icon down and became famous. I could have written it myself, of course, but I am happy to help others find success.
You were in business?
Of course. I come from Brabant Province, home to the greatest entrepreneur of all. My birthplace gave me an unrivaled nose for coin and the reputation of a financial expert. I was nicknamed the Seer of Louvain, and also the End of Midas. That is, until I persuaded an important nobleman to invest a large sum in maritime trade with Africa. All the ships he bought sank in a tempest. He had to sell off part of his estates to pay off his creditors. Of course, he wrongly blamed me for everything and turned many influential courtiers against me. But my advice was sound. He was simply punished by God for fornicating with every wench from the Pyrenees to Brittany, bragging about it and thus bringing shame on his gentle wife. I told him as much, but some people never admit their mistakes and prefer to blame others.
A sea voyage from France to Africa? You must have known that was a massive risk.
A risk, perhaps. But think of the fortune to be made. A man must think big if he wants to achieve greatness, no?
Big ideas often lead to big trouble. Storms, pirates, sea monsters, uncharted waters. It was a disaster waiting to happen, Baron. You should have tried the Baltic trade route.
You are right. That would have been safer. But that is under Hanseatic control and there is too much competition. Africa, mon ami, that is the land of opportunity. The Arabs sell to the Portuguese via Ceuta and they sell on to us. Just imagine selling further and trading directly with African kings, cutting out all of those middlemen. Remember this, because one day I will be proven right.
What was the hunting incident?
We were out in the royal hunting grounds when I caught sight of a white stag. There had long been rumors about it, so imagine the prestige I would have gained by getting it. I set off after it, pierced its flank with arrows, and unleashed the hounds to finish it off. When I arrived, it turned out that my aunt had not killed a stag but the horse of a lady, a court favorite of the queen's. I fell out of her favor, and all the doors became closed to me.
Christ almighty! How could you have mistaken a horse for a stag?
I did not! It was the hounds! The stag must have got away, and in their frenzy they pounced on the poor horse.
That's nonsense.
Oh, why do you say so?
Hunting dogs are trained to go after game. They'd never attack a horse, especially hounds from the royal kennels. You must have made the mistake and set them on the horse.
Well, normally that would be true, of course, but the hounds I was given had some kind of sickness that addled their wits. I do not remember exactly. No doubt they gave me those wants of purpose. A misfortune like that, which could indeed happen to anyone, would make lesser men roll with laughter. But the other lords were afraid I would outshine them, so they were waiting for a chance to get rid of me. And that chance came along, unfortunately.
Tell me about Brabant province. Is it far from here?
Quite far. From Bohemia you would go to Bamberg and then follow the river Main until it joins the Rhone. Then you sail down the Rhone until it reaches the sea. And there, between the river and La Flandre, you will find Brabant, with its wealthy cities. Anvers, Bruxelles, Louvain, and many others. But those three cities are the equal of Paris, Rome, or your Prague. Both the Dukes of Burgundy and the Imperial Princes would like to annex our land to theirs, because its flourishing trade has made it rich. But like everywhere else, you can only come into wealth by birth or by enterprise, which is how I did it.
How did you end up here?
Leaving the court with a modest sum, I launched to visit faraway lands. I traveled a lot, spending time in various countries, and having many great adventures. When I learned that l'Empereur Charles, that great friend of France, had built the magnificent city of Prague in Bohème, I had to see it.
So people in foreign countries speak highly of Prague?
Bien sûr! It was abroad that I heard of King Wenceslas' silver city and its reputed vast wealth. I bought the abandoned Miskowitz estates and shares in the Kuttenberg mines. And for a time I settled here to provide for myself and wait for King Wenceslas, whom I wished to serve. But even here fate did not let me be. When Sigismund brought his army to the city, I appointed myself to lead its defense. For how better to make King Wenceslas aware of me than by saving his beloved city? Victory was assured, but the burghers had other ideas. The city was handed over to the enemy, and I with it, stripped of my possessions. I languished in captivity, until fate again stepped in by sending you to Malishov.
Sir Vaclin, I'm surprised how well you speak our language. Where did you learn it?
Where do you think? Here, of course. Ce n'était même pas difficile. Perhaps I have already mentioned that I am guided by Providence? She endowed me with many talents, mastery of language among them. I can communicate almost everywhere in a word, and learn every new tongue in a trice. I now speak French, German, Italian, Latin, Hungarian, and Czech. Some English, though that is only a necessary evil.
Thanks for sharing your stories with me, Sir Backlin. What do you think of our band of outcasts?
Well, I cannot say I expected to end up in this kind of company. I am more used to royal courts or, at least, wealthy burghers. But a man must accept his destiny as it comes.
What do you think of Zizka?
Le Chevalier Jan? Well, he's not doing badly for a minor nobleman, but I think he will never be accepted among the higher nobles and knights. That takes a lot more. Mark my words. I am a good judge of people.
I can't get Catherine out of my head. I don't understand her. I'm sure you have more experience of love than me. What do you make of her? Why is she with us?
Ah, you're right. I am a connoisseur of love like I am of wine. But for my taste, Mademoiselle Catherine is of somewhat aged vintage. Though, I have to admit she's full-bodied and fragrant.
That's not really what I meant. Why is a woman like her with us?
Là est la question. I had the feeling something terrible happened to her in the past.
So do I.
I have no idea. But she is fond of you, if you ask me. Try asking her, and maybe something will come of it. L'amour.
Oh, come on.
I am a good judge of people, trust me. L'amour.
What do you think of Sir Hynek?
Ah, le diable sec. A capable chevalier, but I do not trust him. There is treachery in his eyes.
You think so?
My instinct rarely lets me down.
How do you get on with Janosch and Adder?
Oh, those two. Once in Gothenburg, I also had a servant who pretended not to understand me and thought I did not understand him when he spoke German in my presence. But he was wrong. He is no longer my servant.
How do you get on with Sir Hans?
Oh, young Lord Chapon may be inexperienced and hot-headed at times, but he's one of the few here who knows how to play chess. And I have a great respect for chess players. Needless to say, he has not managed to beat me yet. Godwin? Ah, and that devil in press clothing beat me. Merde.
Have you met Godwin?
The priest who is very skilled with a sword. Priests should not be such good swordsmen. That is what knights like me are for. In addition, he can play chess just as well as he wields a sword. And in drinking wine, he beats even the best Frenchmen. A man of talents. Or perhaps the devil is behind it.
Have you had the chance to meet my half-brother yet?
Samuel. It is strange that he joined your... our group. It is not usual for his, people. But he's certainly a good reinforcement.
What do you think of Kubienka?
A good warrior. But he has no morals and no manners, like all mercenaries.
Well, I don't think he cares much about that.
And that is just the problem. How can you trust a man who does not want to be a knight?
Tell me, how did the siege of Kuttenberg go?
Ah, mon ami, poorly, poorly. But what could I do? Stand down from leading the defense like a coward? After all, I had to live up to my reputation. And at the time, it did not look hopeless at all. I thought it would be enough to stall Sigismund for a while before the Allied army arrived. And that would not have been so difficult.
Only no army arrived.
Précisément. The hope for a swift end melted away, and the courage of the burghers along with it. I, who fought in 5 countries, was relieved of command, arrested, and handed over to Sigismund.
I heard your attack on the trebuchets was a disaster.
It is true, but that was not my fault. The Kurtenbergers blamed me to cover up their own failure. Ces connards. I made the correct decision, but I was given bad intelligence. The Kurtenberg spies that I sent out reported that the trebuchets weren't defended, but they were too cowardly to take a good look from up close. This tragedy would never have happened if it were not for their stupidity and lack of heart. But enough of that. There is no point, as you say, in crying over the spilled milk. One must move forward. In the meantime, however, I can pass on some of my experience to you. After all, I am not getting any younger, so it is time to pass my wisdom on to future generations.
I'd like to learn.
It will acquire a special... What would...
As an...
I would on... I don't...
Witaj, Henryku.
I assume you won't be joining our offensive, right?
Under other circumstances, I would avoid battle. You're right, but this is personal. Otto von Berghoff is responsible for that slaughter in Kuttenberg. It was he who advised Sigismund to attack my people.
So you want revenge?
They plundered the synagogue, murdered dozens of people. That Mamsa must pay. I will play with him like a cat with a mouse. He will beg for mercy, for a quick death.
I understand how you feel. Once I get my hands on Markvart, there's no telling what I'll do.
I'm going to kill von Berghoff. Even if Žižka is against it. Fuck him! It was I who got the money for everything. So no one is going to tell me what I can and cannot do. What about you? Why are you willing to fight?
I too want to get revenge on von Berghoff.
For tricking you two?
Aye, for that too. But to put it bluntly, someone has to stop him. He betrayed the king, and he should hang. And if there's anyone that can get him, then it's Žižka and the devil. That's why I'm going with them to Malashov.
Why is it so important to capture Otto von Berghoff?
Isn't it obvious?
Pray in law.
Look, Otto von Berghoff is the supreme chamberlain of this land. He's in charge of all the royal towns and monasteries, meaning he is worth his weight in silver.
So, it's ransom we're after?
Not quite. Von Berghoff is one of the leaders of the League of Lords against the king. If we want the lords to free our king, we have to force them to do it. And capturing von Berghoff would be the best way to do that.
And to think, until recently, you couldn't give a damn about politics. How does Žižka want to attack Malashov?
He didn't tell me much, but I got the impression it'll be a bit different compared to the usual tactics. A major operation.
Such secrecy. It almost seems like he doesn't trust us.
True. Žižka's being damn tight-lipped. But I don't blame the man. After Raborsh, Sigismund had a lot of our people arrested, and I'm sure a lot more are frightened. Any of them could betray us.
You think there could be a spy amongst us?
Doubtful. All of us here would gladly stab Sigismund in the gut.
Or that traitor von Berghoff.
Brabant and I still owe him quite a bit of payback. I can't wait to see the look on his face when we take him captive.
What do you think about the Dry Devil?
Hynek? I think he's a right bastard. But I'd rather fight with him than against him.
So why does Žižka trust him so much?
Hynek is Job's ally, and Sigismund is their common enemy.
What do you know about the attack on Malashov?
You're asking the wrong...
Do you think we stand a chance of taking von Berghoff?
Well, if anyone can do it, it's Žižka and the devil.
Although I'm not saying it'll be easy, or that I approve.
How's that?
God doesn't lead us by the hand. We have to find our own path to him, or at least try to. And I'm not sure just how much divine mercy that pair deserve.
Are you coming with us to Malashov?
And what would I do there?
What's wrong?
Am I supposed to be happy? Ah, for Christ's sake, you're all the same. Why do I even bother trying? You'll all just end up getting killed.
If you're talking about that plan, well...
Jan still thinks it'll be easy to capture von Berghoff, but I heard what Ada said.
What did he say?
That Otto von Berghoff has that fortress full of fresh mercenaries, armed to the teeth. My God! I should have slit his throat that time I had the chance at Trotsky.
We must defeat and capture von Berghoff.
Aye, there's always some we must with you fellas.
Look, if we succeed, we'll free our king.
Who gives a damn about some king?
Everyone. He'll drive Sigismund away and end the war.
Ha! You lot, and your big plans.
What's the matter? You didn't mind what we were doing until now. And all of a sudden...
Until now we chose our foe. One we stood a chance against. And engaged them when we had an edge. And for some time now we've been getting into wilder and wilder enterprises. But go. If you must. And try not to die there. Damn it. In the meantime, I'll wait at the fortress in Sukdal. That's where we'll meet.
Are you better?
That's what I just said. Anyway, do you think I'd miss out on the chance to hack a chunk off Otto's arse?
You're not the only one. After what he did to Samuel's people.
I'm more pissed off about how he handed our arses to us at Rabos. He chased us off like rabbits, the fucker.
How could von Berghoff have found out about our meeting in Rabors? Could someone have betrayed us?
I don't know. But there's no point in trying to figure it out. It wasn't any of the captured lords. And if any of their men talked, well, we'll never know now.
Did Zizka tell you how he plans to attack Malashov?
I think it's obvious. We have to lure von Bergau into a trap, then quietly grab him.
Then what do we need that cannon for?
Now, in case our ruse doesn't go according to plan. And I'm itching to fire that fucking... These toys that use gunpowder pretty much even the odds. But they cost as much as a virgin whore. Aye, if we'd had one of them fat beauties with us at Snoimo, that would have been something.
God be with you.
What's new around?
Well, if there was...
How are things looking at Malashov? How is Malashov?
Właśnie stamtąd wróciłem. Jedno wiem na pewno. Ten zamek ma kurwa słuszne obwarowania.
Could you slow down a bit? I'm trying to understand you, but I can't keep up.
O co ci chodzi?
This is going nowhere. I'd like
it will especially what would you like?
Sir,
you will. I don't.
God give. I'd like
it will especially what
when we
on my trip. So I don't see.
I'd like to learn.
It will take some acquire a special what?
Baron
Mona, what to opport? Remember, I don't see.
Greetings to you.
What awaits us at Malashov?
A short but nonetheless dangerous battle, in the best case scenario.
And in the worst?
Things go to fucking hell, and our worldly cares will be over. So prepare well. This really won't be easy.
I'll come back